The Premier League as a whole is more competitive and balanced than ever, except when it comes to the relegation battle. Moving up from the Championship to the top flight and staying there is notoriously difficult. Over the 32 years since the Premier League's inception in 1992, at least one newly promoted club has been relegated in all but 4 of those seasons. However, 2024-25 marks the second consecutive season in which all 3 promoted teams have failed to stay up. Before last season, the only time this happened in the Premier League era was in 1997-98. While it remains to be seen whether the past 2 seasons are the new norm, the shift from once in 32 years to twice in 2 seasons suggests something profound has changed. But what's even more alarming is not just that these teams have been relegated, but how they have gone down. Last season, Luton Town, Burnley and Sheffield United were sent down with just 26, 24 and 16 points respectively, with the latter even setting an unwanted league record with 104 goals conceded. This season is shaping up to be worse, with Ipswich on 21 points, Leicester at 18 and Southampton on track to match Derby County's record low of just 11 points from 2007-8. This begs the question, is Premier League survival still possible? In this video, we'll explore whether newly promoted teams can realistically survive, how past teams have succeeded, and what key lessons can be learned for future aspiring clubs. Given how increasingly fortified the Premier League is becoming, many believe that focusing solely on promotion without planning for what comes next almost guarantees immediate relegation the following season. Indeed, the longer teams stay in the Premier League, the stronger they'll become. And if the same 17 teams remain there for several consecutive seasons, they will invest significantly and continue to enhance their already strong foundations. Thus, it seems inevitable that the gap between the first and second tiers will only continue to widen. Wolves illustrate this trend perfectly this season. After a recent surge in form under new manager Vitor Pereira, they climbed to mid-table, but not long ago, they were teetering just above the relegation zone, averaging well under a point per game. Despite this, they still maintained a comfortable buffer above the bottom 3, thanks largely to the poor performances of those teams, which meant Wolves never looked like being seriously drawn into a relegation battle. As such, while gaining promotion is one challenge, staying up is an entirely different ballgame, especially given the significant gulf in finances and quality between the 2 divisions nowadays. This struggle for promoted championship clubs to navigate the transition has created something of a mini-league at the top of the second tier, where teams, bolstered by continuous parachute payments, often find themselves too strong for the championship yet not quite good enough for the Premier League. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, subscribe so that you don't miss out on our future videos. This brings us to Scott Parker's Burnley side, which has immediately bounced back from relegation 2 seasons ago by recently securing automatic promotion to the Premier League for next season. But what will strike you about their campaign is their remarkably low total of 15 goals conceded in 45 matches so far, alongside 15 wins by a single goal margin. Additionally, Burnley have not conceded more than 1 goal in any game and have achieved a staggering 30 clean sheets, matching a 71-year record for the top 4 divisions set by Port Vale in the 3rd tier during the 1953-54 season. These impressive defensive stats, by the way, are no coincidence. Burnley are a club that have observed and previously experienced the growing chasm between the 2 divisions and have carefully reverse-engineered their style of play for survival in the top flight, just as they used it to dominate the championship this season. Whether this strategy will work remains to be seen, but we can certainly expect a different approach from Burnley compared to what followed their previous promotion 2 years ago. Back then, Vincent Kompany's side had made a strong comeback from relegation in 2022, winning the championship title with 101 points, scoring 87 goals and losing only 3 matches, all while playing an expansive possession-based style of football. However, this approach did not translate to the Premier League, as they lost 11 of their first 13 matches the following season, scoring just 10 goals while conceding 32 on their way to another relegation. It was a brutal lesson, but one that the Lancashire club has taken to heart. Indeed, Burnley have shifted their priorities and altered their identity, recognizing that playing their attacking style would not be replicable or successful in the current Premier League era. Instead, they're hoping that the strong defensive foundation they've established this season will enable them to compete and hopefully thrive next season. Burnley's radical shift in playing style this season serves as a prime example of the dilemmas championship clubs encounter when transitioning between the top 2 divisions, whether moving up or down from the Premier League. This is reflected in the various strategies championship clubs have previously adopted when planning for survival in the Premier League. The first strategy is to continue playing the style that proved successful in the championship, trusting that the manager's vision will enable the team to punch above their weight as a collective, even if the players may be inferior to those they'll face in the Premier League. The second strategy is to transform your squad overnight through heavy investment and continuing this approach in the following years. Nottingham Forest exemplified this upon their promotion in the summer of 2022 by signing 30 players for £170 million, while fellow promotees Bournemouth have also invested considerably since that same summer, spending around £290 million on new players over the past 3 seasons. Although this method carries the risk of financial instability if it fails, both Forest and Bournemouth are currently competing for European qualification. Notably, Forest faced a points deduction last year for breaching the league's profit and sustainability rules, but it turned out to be a gamble worth taking. Now, under Nuno Espirito Santo, they are remarkably pursuing Champions League qualification, and the wisdom of that spending spree is no longer in question. Then again, considerable spending offers no guarantee of survival. Take Ipswich this season, for example. They invested £106 million on new signings last summer, making it the 13th highest expenditure not in the Premier League but in world football. To put this into perspective, Bayern Munich were just 1 place above them in that ranking, while Saudi big spenders Al Ittihad were 1 spot below. In short, Ipswich did what everyone says new clubs need to do to survive by spending over £100 million on their squad. Yet, this investment hasn't helped them close the gap with the rest of the Premier League teams. The third strategy is to double down on being difficult to beat, focusing less on entertainment value and aiming to snatch enough points throughout the season to finish above at least 3 other teams. The fourth and less appealing strategy, particularly for a club's supporters, is to treat one promotion as a trial run for the next. This involves accepting the strong possibility of immediate relegation and managing finances carefully, even if it results in a challenging 11 months. By utilizing the significant TV revenue from the first season in the Premier League to strengthen the squad, collecting parachute payments upon relegation, and learning from the experience, these clubs can aim for better consolidation the second time around. In the past, there have been notable examples of newly promoted sides that have bucked the trend and excelled after promotion. Leeds United, under Marcelo Bielsa in 2020-21, showcased a relentless, aggressive full-pitch pressing style that forced opponents into an open and often disorienting game. Similarly, Chris Wilder's Sheffield United a year earlier played boldly as well, utilizing a back 3 while allowing the outside centre-backs to overlap from deep. Both teams ended up finishing 9th in their first season back in the top flight. Rewinding further, Ian Holloway's Blackpool in 2010-11 and Brendan Rodgers' Swansea City of 2011-12 adopted strong possession philosophies, doing so without significant investment in signings. Blackpool were unfortunate to be immediately relegated by a single point that season, having scored 55 goals, more than all but 7 teams. Swansea City, on the other hand, fared better by finishing 11th and achieving the third highest possession percentage of all teams in their Premier League debut year, a feat that helped earn Rodgers the Liverpool job in the summer of 2012. However, more than a decade later, the current rendition of the Premier League is a completely different beast, with intensity and verticality across the board increasing exponentially. To watch our video exploring why counter-attacking and transitional football has become more prevalent in the Premier League, click the first link in the description or the card in the top right corner. In the 2023-24 season, for instance, Burnley conceded 337 high turnovers, the third most of any Premier League club in the past 2 seasons. The other 5 promoted teams that were subsequently relegated during this period also ranked in the top half for this metric, as well as for the most shots on goal conceded from those situations. That represents a lot of self-inflicted pain. Therefore, given the proven link between a strong defensive record and survival in the Premier League, it appears that a combination of a defense-first policy and smart spending, strategies 2 and 3, may be crucial for promoted teams, which Burnley are banking on for next season. Historically, conceding fewer than 60 goals gives teams an 81% chance of survival. On the flip side, teams must still pose enough threat going forward to secure wins, as just 4 teams from 32 have been relegated when scoring 43 goals or more in their first season post-promotion. Whether Burnley can find that firepower in the summer transfer market will be a test of their recruitment skills, but they have perhaps already addressed the defensive part. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more football news, stories, and insights. Also, don't forget to hit notifications so you never miss a beat. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.